ready to get the show on the road? Because I am, honey. Let's do this. Sorry, I love SZA. This is her playing in the background, by the way, just so you know. Anyways, welcome back to my channel, Adventures with Moo. So glad you guys decided to tune in again for another week. This week, I am going to be talking more about who else other than me. I don't know what it is. I just can't stop talking about myself. Oh my God, Jesus Lord. Anyways, I want to give you guys more context about who I am as a person and how I got to where I am today. So to start with, I think elementary school, I've always grown up in an environment and in a society where I kind of had to be someone else. You know, like I grew up in one of the most wealthiest cities in the country, I don't know, but in the state for sure, probably the most wealthy city, which is Bellevue, Washington. And it was kind of hard being a poor kid and going to the really rich schools and always being on a free and reduced lunch plan. Like it's really hard to like walk into the office and like you need to get a fee waiver for certain field trip, and then the counselor looks at you and she goes, "Oh, you're here for the financial aid, right?" I'm just like, I have no shame in being a free and reduced lunch student. So for me, it took me a really long time to actually get to that point. But when I was younger, I definitely struggled with fitting in because I was poor. I didn't have all the clothes and all of the cool book supplies and all the cool technologies that the younger kids had because my parents just didn't have that much money. So how did we live in Bellevue all these years? I have no idea. Like I said, my mom and dad worked very hard. My mom worked almost 3 jobs at one point. She used to work so much just to get us a good place to live. And we didn't always live in the best parts of Bellevue, but even the worst parts of Bellevue are better than freaking like the best part of LA, I guess. You know, like Bellevue really is an amazing place. And for a very long time, I didn't know who I was. Cause like, imagine being a frog and being put in a swimming pool full of pigs, you know? Like, I just felt like I was out of place. I felt like I wasn't supposed to be there, but my parents wanted us to stay in Bellevue so that we could get the best education possible and make something out of ourselves because they did not have the opportunity to do that. But I think I started acting out in elementary school. I was a middle child, so I guess it's to be expected, but I was always getting in trouble. I would pull my pants down in front of boys. I would like steal stuff. I would make fun of kids. I would beat kids up. Like I was a bully when I was younger. And I think it was because I was really insecure about myself. I was insecure about my skin color. I was insecure about my hair. I was insecure about the kind of car my parents drive. I was insecure about my clothes. I was insecure about myself as a being because I couldn't be like those other kids and I couldn't have what those other kids have. So that carried on into middle school. I was a horrible kid. I was so rude to all of the teachers. I was always in Saturday school in detention. I was always doing something wrong. I was always hanging out with the wrong crowd. And I think it took me like 2 to 3 years in middle school, so almost until the end of my 8th grade year, that I realized that I couldn't keep on doing what I was doing if I wanted to follow through the dream and put to good use all of the work that my parents did to get me to where I am today. So I was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna stop hanging out with the bad kids. I'm gonna start going to class. I'm gonna stop skipping. I'm gonna stop stealing. I'm going to go to Shell's gas station and apologize to the guy for stealing all that candy. And I'm gonna start on a new path. And that's exactly what I did my 8th grade year of middle school. I ran for the school president, won that, which was really big for me because it kind of showed me that, okay, maybe I don't have to be so perfect. I don't have to be rich for people to like me. And I think that's when I started living in my own skin and realizing that I shouldn't give a fuck what anybody else thinks because everybody's life is different. What people show you is what they choose to show you. So you can paint the picture to be the most perfect person in the world. Meanwhile, in the background, your shit is all fucked up. And I didn't know that until like the beginning of high school, like I said, which is why I feel like I have a lot to teach people because I've realize such big nuances and such big ideas that it takes people years until they're like 30 to actually realize these big concepts. But I've grasped it and I'm just in college. Which is why I feel like this YouTube channel is going to be so impactful for girls all over the world. But yeah, so middle school went by, I was doing really well, you know, finished it really strong, gave my 8th grade commencement speech, standing ovation. Like, I thought my life was going, boo, like I was gonna be freaking president of the United States. And that's kind of what it seemed like throughout high school too. Like I came in 9th grade, didn't really know anyone because I was going to a new high school and my friends from middle school hadn't followed me there. So it was really hard for me to transition. I changed a lot from middle school to high school in that summer year. I became a lot quieter. I became a lot dimmer. I didn't really say anything. I didn't really talk as much as I used to when I was in middle school, because being loud and being boisterous and having attitude and being sassy, that's why a lot of people didn't want to hang out with me, and that's why a lot of the boys didn't come up to me and talk to me. I don't know if they were scared or if it was because I had the stereotype of being the loud, black, sassy girl who always got in trouble and was always talking back. So in high school, I didn't say anything. I didn't talk, I didn't make any friends, and that was all of my 9th grade school year. Until I tried out for the cheer team. I tried out, made the cheer team, shockingly. The only black girl, of course, was not surprised. The bows that we wore never fit in my hair. It's actually so funny and kind of sad. But I joined the high school cheer team my 10th grade year. And that's when I kind of started feeling like I was the shit, you know? Like I felt like, oh, like cheerleaders are so cool. Like all the guys are gonna want me now. Like I'm gonna be so hip and like I'm just gonna be perfect and my whole life is gonna work out now because I made the high school cheer squad. That's not what happened. I don't know why I didn't expect to face racism or anything on the cheer team, but I did. I was the only black girl, of course. Every time I would go out and cheer, I could feel people's eyes drawing towards me because I was the only dark person in the squad when we would cheer. And personally, I didn't get along with the cheer coach because she was always trying to like attack me for certain things. Like for example, we had to pay like almost $2,000 a year for our cheer uniforms and to be on the cheer team. I could not afford it. So I told her, I said, Coach, I need help paying for this. I need you to help me figure out a plan to pay for this. And she didn't want to help me because she didn't know what it was like to not just be able to throw money at things, you know? Like, I think she got frustrated with me because I didn't let her talk to me as if I was like some like little kid with no backbone. Like, I didn't care if she was the freaking principal or the athletic director. Like, I told her, I said, I need help. I need you to treat me like I actually am worth something on this team. And that's why I ended up dropping out a couple of years later, because I just couldn't handle the animosity between me and her. She made me feel like I couldn't do anything right. She made me feel like I wasn't really truly a part of the team. And the girls on the squad, even though I had built up really good relationships with them the year before, I couldn't handle all the fake stuff and all the fake people. So I dropped all my friends, dropped them all. I couldn't take it. I was just like, you know what? Why do I want to be with people who make me feel like I'm not worth what I am worth? And that's why I dropped the cheer squad at the beginning of my senior year. I was still going through all of what it is to be a normal high schooler. I was still thinking about boys. I was still thinking about sex, alcohol, drugs, you know, all that stuff. And honestly, I am not afraid to say it now, but I have never ever had a kiss. I've never ever been with a boy like romantically or like even close to one, really. Like, that's just, I don't know. And for a really long time I thought it was something that was wrong with me. Like, why don't guys like me? Like, is it because I'm black? Like, is it because I'm dark? Is it because I have a really big butt? But then I remember seeing white girls who had huge asses and beautiful long hair, and the guys would always go after them. So I was like, what's wrong with me? So I started putting in extensions all the way down to my ass. I freaking started starving myself. Like, I really thought that I was wrong. That I really thought that there was something wrong with me, which is why those boys didn't want to come hang out with me or ask me out to Tolo or take me out to prom. And that was definitely the hardest part of high school, is feeling like I couldn't deliver to what the boys wanted. So, I mean, I guess ever since then I've been kind of closed off, you know, like I don't trust boys. Like I feel like guys, I mean, even now I still kind of feel like it, like why don't you want to like hang out with me, like why don't you want to talk to me, like why don't you want to get my number, like why don't you want to go out with me? And I guess it's something that I still have to figure out within myself, but that was definitely a really big part of me figuring out who I was in high school. But apart from that, apart from all the fake hoes and everything, I did very well in high school. I did full IB. I had 2 internships whilst I was in high school, both at Microsoft. So I did very well. I got good letters of recommendation, and I really thought that my dream school was going to be Stanford University. I had spent a summer there. My junior year, I spent the summer at Stanford studying computer science, which I failed the class. I failed computer science when I studied it at Stanford. Passing it now at UW, I don't know why that is, but I failed it back then. And I thought that Stanford, I didn't really want to go there because it had good academics or because I had this. I wanted to go there because of the name, Stanford University. I wanted to go there because every time you told someone that you spent the summer at Stanford, they'd be like, oh my God, really? That's amazing. And I wanted people to think that of me. I wanted people to think I was amazing, which is why I wanted to go to Stanford so bad. So when I got denied, I'll probably put up my rejection video. It's really not that interesting. I was just really like shocked because I thought I was gonna get in. Like, you know, people always say like, oh, you're a black girl, like of course you'll have a higher chance of getting in. Not true, because I did not get in, and I'm as black as it gets, and nobody, like I didn't get accepted, and I literally would cry almost every night, and I would think, what is wrong with me? And it was at that point, I was definitely at the lowest point in my life. Then I had no friends. I had just cut off all my friends. I had just cut off all of my friends. I had just dropped the cheer team. I wasn't playing any sports. And like, I was like, okay, you know what? Like, what else is there? Like, my life is over. I didn't get into my dream college. No boys want me. I have no friends. Like, no one is ever gonna think I'm beautiful. Like, what do I do? Like, how did I pick myself up out of this hole that I'm in? So yeah, honestly, I really don't know how I did it. I think one thing was definitely the gym, which is why I still turn to that now when I have stress and anxiety. I always go to the gym and try and work and sweat it out, because I know that no one is gonna make me feel the way that I want to feel unless I give them that impression. Like, if I want somebody to treat me with respect, I have to give them respect so they know that that's what I expect. You know what I mean? It's kind of confusing when you think about it, but I know what I deserve. I know what I'm worth. I know that I'm beautiful. Like I tell myself every single day, you're beautiful, you're sexy, you are fine as hell. Like, any man would be lucky to have you. Like, I tell myself every day. And when that time comes, like it'll come, you know? Like, I'm not looking for a relationship. Like, I'm not like out on the market per se. Like, I'm just living my life the way I want to live it. I know that my life is only going to happen once. I'm only going to be 19 and 2 months once. I'm only going to be in this moment at this minute now. So why should I spend my time stressing about other girls and other guys, and why should I worry about what they think of me? All that matters is what I think. Because I came into this world by myself and I'm going out by myself. So I need to make me happy. And that's when I started not thinking about having prom dates and being the bombest girl at school and having the longest, most beautiful hair. I started caring about what made me feel better. And if wearing extensions is what makes me feel good, then that is what I'm gonna do. Because what you choose to do with yourself is what you think makes you beautiful is what should make you feel beautiful. If you think that natural hair is what makes you beautiful, then wear your hair natural. If you think that butt implants makes you feel beautiful, then honey, get those butt implants. Go to Dr. Miami. Like, if whatever you think makes you beautiful is what you should do. And honestly, even just like right now, just hearing myself repeat this and say these words, I already feel like I'm worth $1 million, a billion, trillion, zillion, cajillion bucks. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like hot shit right now, and I can honestly say that because I can back it up. You know what I mean? Like, I feel amazing right now. And I want you guys to feel the same way as well. So if you guys have any questions about anything that I just talked about, feel free to comment below. I'll answer all of your questions. If there's anything that you want me to expand upon, I can expand on it. But I just want you guys to feel how I feel. And throughout, I'm gonna try and make some of these coaching videos. You know, I'm gonna try and keep walking you through my life so you can see how I go about my life and how I have this mindset of do what makes you happy so you can live your best possible life, because you only get to live it once.